Hi and welcome back to the channel. We've got breaking news. The news broke a few hours ago, but I decided let me sit back, let me first observe before just jumping straight and doing a video and reacting to it. Let me see if some big players come into the party. Um, but yeah, there's been a few more sources that have added to the news that, or rather the breaking news that Erik Ten Hag is set to be sacked by Manchester United tomorrow after the FA Cup final. So, if it's your first time watching the channel, I'm Ten Hag out. I'm Ten Hag out, and the news we got this afternoon brings a smile to my face. It really, really does. Like, I know it's not what everyone wanted. I'm not gonna stand here or sit here and pretend that, I don't know, 90% or majority of the fan base wanted to get rid of Erik Ten Hag. If anything, I think it was quite split. Some of the fans were saying that we needed to keep Ten Hag for one more year, which is left in his contract, whilst the other half of the fan base was basically saying that Ten Hag needed to be sacked this season. So yeah, it's a mixed bag if you ask me, because now I've seen a lot of people react to the news. Obviously, Ten Hag owners are not happy with the news that Ten Hag is going to be sacked tomorrow after the FA Cup final. Whilst obviously Ten Hag outers like myself, we're obviously happy. To be honest, I even considered buying a bottle of champagne today. But I was like, you know what? Let me hold my horses. Calm down. Hold your horses. Let's wait for the official thing. Let's wait till it's done. I want to see official breaking news. Club statement. Manchester United would like to announce that they've parted ways with Erik Ten Hag. Once I see that, then I can start to celebrate properly. But for now, I'm sorry if you're Ten Hag in, but it looks like your boy's about to go. But yeah, anyways, I've actually got some news. I actually want to read out the quotes from the main source, or rather the first people to break the story that NX was to be sacked tomorrow was The Guardian. It's a paper from England. For those who don't know, let me actually go through what's been said. I want to get it word for word and read out the quote for you guys. So just one sec. So yeah, this article has been written by Jacob Steinberg from The Guardian, and it reads as follows. I'm going to read it word for word so you guys can understand what exactly is what's going on. Manchester United have decided to sack Erik Ten Hag after the FA Cup final against Manchester City. Ten Hag, who joined the club 2 years ago, is set to depart after enduring a fraud campaign, and United finished 8th in the Premier League, which happens to be their lowest finish since 1990. Their hopes of qualifying for Europe rest on them beating Manchester City at Wembley on Saturday afternoon. It then continues to say, a well-placed source said that even winning the FA Cup would not save Erik Ten Hag. The decision has been made to change the manager, and it will be the most significant move made by Sir Jim Ratcliffe and his allies since Ineos took a minority stake and control of the football operations. United have identified Thomas Tuchel, Mauricio Pochettino, Kieran McKenna, Graham Potter, and Thomas Frank as potential replacements for Erik Ten Hag. Erik Ten Hag won Carabao Cup and finished 3rd last season, but he's been unable to build on his early work, and many of his signings have not worked out. United have declined to comment after being approached by The Guardian with regards to this news. So basically the club, after dropping the story, The Guardian also approached the club, Man United, to find out if they would have any comment with regards to the news that Ten Hag is bound to be sacked tomorrow afternoon after the FA Cup final. But apparently the club has refused to respond, So that for me kind of does confirm that the news we're getting is true. Ten Hag is about to be sacked tomorrow afternoon. Because if it wasn't true, all the club would have to do is just come out and say, would deny all the statement or the story which has been released today by The Guardian, and none of it is true. But the club have instead chosen to say no comment whenever The Guardian has approached them with regards to getting a comment to tomorrow's story. But anyway, that's not all. There's also a report from the BBC Sport, again, another UK-based organization, So Simon Stone from the BBC also released an article, and it reads as follows. Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag is preparing for the FA Cup final without knowing whether reports that he will be sacked, no matter what the results, are true or not. So basically here, Simon Stone is saying that the news that we saw earlier on being reported by The Guardian, that ten Hag will be sacked tomorrow afternoon, it's true. They're backing it up. Simon Stone is saying that. He's saying it's true. And he's even going on to elaborate by saying that Erik ten Hag goes into tomorrow's final without knowing what his future holds, basically. Like, he doesn't know whether he's going to be sacked after the game, whether he's still going to be in the job. He doesn't know. But anyways, there's more. Let me continue to read. Rumors about Erik ten Hag's future intensified on Friday morning before The Guardian reported that the Dutchman would lose his job in the aftermath that whatever the outcome of a Wembley meeting would be with Manchester City on Saturday. United have yet again refused to comment on the story. So basically, the BBC also tried to get a comment from Manchester United with regards to ten Hag being sacked tomorrow. But guess what? United refused to comment yet again. So again, I maintain my stance. Man United know exactly what is going to happen tomorrow. They are going to sack Erik ten Hag, but they know that if they now say the story is not true to both the BBC and the Guardian or whoever, but then tomorrow they actually go ahead and sack the guy, it's going to look like they lied. So what's best to do? Say no comment. Because if you say no comment, and maybe by some miracle ten Hag plays the best football you've ever seen at Man United and he beats Manchester City 100-0, which is never going to happen. But let's say that was to happen. Then they can, they can turn back tomorrow and say, we never said ten Hag was getting sacked. Ten Hag's our guy, we're backing him and we're continuing with him. But guess what? They say no comment. The reason why they say no comment is that they know that if they say no comment, they are not forced into a decision tomorrow after the game. Whether it's a good result for us, whether we win the FA Cup or whether we lose. Ineos don't have to do anything about it. If they're not ready to make a decision tomorrow, they don't have to take it. But if they come out and comment, then they'd be forced to react tomorrow. So my thoughts on this are as follows. I think Ineos did know that they were planning on sacking Erik ten Hag, because if reports are to be believed, I saw yesterday there were reports that apparently contact had been made with Kieran McKenna's entourage, basically, in terms of to find out where he's at, will he be interested in the job and things like that. So apparently, though that meeting with between Ineos and Kieran McKenna's entourage had taken place about 2 weeks ago. So that tells me that Ineos already knew what they were doing. They knew come the end of the season, we're going to sack Erik ten Hag. So they decided to say, you know what, since we know we're going to sack this guy, let's start to look around. Because apparently United have spoken to Kieran McKenna's people, they've spoken to Mauricio Pochettino's people, and they've also spoken to Thomas Tuchel's people. So basically United have been in the background, although they've been saying that ten Hag's future at the club is undecided yet. They're going to wait for end of the season to review whether to keep him or not. They knew what they were doing. I genuinely feel that as soon as Ineos came into the club, they had already decided that, you know what, we're going to go with our own guy. And people like to use this example of Arteta, saying that Arsenal backed him, this and that, this and that. Yes, you're right. Excuse me. They backed him for so long. Why? Because for those who know, Arsenal was run by Stan Kroenke. But then of late, his son, I'm not quite sure his name is, but he's also something Kroenke, basically took over from his dad and then started to run the club, of course, with other board members and all of that. But him and Edu were working side to side, and they decided that the man to take over Arsenal and take them forward into a new dawn was Mikel Arteta. So what I understand is whenever a new sort of management, a new ownership comes into a club, they want to bring their own manager. Look at Chelsea. Of course, the Chelsea one has been a mess. But when Bowley went there, he got rid of Thomas Tuchel. Excuse me. He then brought in Graham Potter. Didn't work out, sacked him. He brought in, what's his name? Mauricio Pochettino. For whatever reason, they decided to part ways with him as well. But me going off of that, I'd already seen that whenever these new management comes into clubs, they prefer to bring on their own manager. Unless if they're going into a club and they find the manager is already like Pep Guardiola, you're not going to sack Pep. You keep Pep because he's one of the greatest. If you find Klopp is one of the managers, you don't sack Klopp, you keep him. You find Ancelotti there, you don't sack such managers. But if it's just a normal manager, like a Ten Hag, who hasn't really done much out of Holland, you can get rid of him easily. You can do that. So, for me, I don't think Ineos meant for the news to come out. I don't think they meant for the news to come out today. I think their plan was, we've been talking to Kerry McKenna, we're interested in him, we're considering him, Tuchel, Pochettino, Thomas Frank, but we're only going to sack Erik ten Hag tomorrow after the FA Cup final. So for them, I feel like it's like they've been dealt a huge blow, because now fans are saying, how can Ineos release such a story the day before the FA Cup final? But what people don't understand is that Ineos did not release the statement. It was the Guardian. You see what I'm saying? The Guardian released the story first. People like Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein, proper journalists who are very highly rated, have not said anything about this. So it's still the Guardian. The BBC then followed up with their own story. Melissa Reddy, as seen, has said something else as well. But stories keep on coming more and more and more. We also saw, what's his name? Di Marzio, I think it's yesterday. He also said that Ten Hag would be second at the end of the season. So it's looking like there's someone who's let the info out. Ineos knew they were going to sack him, but they didn't want to release the news. But somehow the story has come out. It's Man United. Things come out all the time. So for me, I can't lie. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I'm very happy Ten Hag is about to get sacked. I think he's been nothing but atrocious this season. He's been awful. I've been subjected to watching the worst football I've ever seen at Man United. The worst. Even worse than the type of football we're playing under David Moyes and Louis van Gaal. So for me, it's good riddance to bad rubbish. Get rid of Ten Hag tomorrow. But all I will say is, it's not ideal for Erik ten Hag tomorrow, because what it does do now is it sort of gives the players who are supposed to play tomorrow an out. Because it's like, are they going to perform knowing that Ten Hag is leaving at the end of the game? Are they going to be motivated? Is Ten Hag going to be motivated to motivate his players going into tomorrow's game? I don't know. At this point, to be honest, I don't know. I just feel like it's done. It's done. I don't think there's any point of return, because like I said, if Ineos wanted to squash the story, they could have easily come out and squashed it and said, no, the story being echoed out there that Ten Hag's getting sacked tomorrow is not true. But they said no comment. That tells me that they're on the fence, or if anything, they actually know it's true, but they just didn't want to release it just yet. So if Ineos planned on sacking Ten Hag immediately after the game, I can see it maybe being put off by a few hours, or maybe being put off until Sunday, then maybe Sunday morning, instead of if it was planned to sack Ten Hag tomorrow immediately after the game. They probably maybe delayed a bit to buy face. Then maybe by Monday morning or the Sunday morning, we get a story saying that Erik ten Hag has officially been sacked and the club will be moving on to other managers. So yeah, that's basically what's happened today. Like I said earlier on, I tried not to jump on it too early. I wanted to see, are there any other journalists coming into this? I've seen Jan Hagafjotov also commenting on Twitter. A few of these big guys are commenting. So it looks like Ten Hag's done. It looks like Ten Hag's done, and to be honest, like I said, I'm not going to shed any tears. If anything, I'm going to celebrate. As soon as the news comes out that it's official, he's been sacked, I will be there with a nice bottle of champagne to celebrate. Because like I said, I have watched the worst football ever. It's a Man United fan. We finished 8th with a -1 goal difference. Totally unacceptable after spending £400 million. So get rid of this guy. Let's get a completely fresh start. Get rid of most of these players. Get rid of the manager as well. Bring me a new style of play. An exciting style of play. Most of these players are not good enough. But if anything, I want these players to go out there tomorrow and play for the badge. Show that you care. Like, I get it. Most of them may have fallen out with Ten Hag, but For most of you tomorrow, it's your last game in a Manchester United shirt. So surely you want to do yourself proud and do your families proud and actually do the fans proud who've been backing you all season. So my message to the players would be, go out there, give it your all, play well, try and deliver the trophy. If not for Ten Hag, then for the fans who've been behind you all season. Because I don't think anybody cares about Ten Hag. Ten Hag can get the hell out of here. Well, of course, Ten Hag doesn't care about him, but sorry, he's going by the looks of it. So, yeah, I hope tomorrow, since it's going to be, I hope it is the last game we see with Ten Hag in charge of the club. And to be honest, I hope we win. I predicted a 3-2 win for United tomorrow in my preview. Yeah, I was just being, I don't know. I guess I was trying to be positive or something, because I don't know if that'll be the result, especially now that this news has come out. I don't know if the players will even be willing to play for Ten Hag. They might just go out there and do nonsense. So I think it's either going to go one of two ways. We're either going to win it by a close score, maybe 2-1 or 3-2. Or, like I said yesterday, we might get hammered like a 3 or 4-0. Especially now with this news breaking. It might just, basically tomorrow might just be a summary of Eric Ten Hag's time at Man United. We might get absolutely embarrassed. And I hope that's not the case. I hope the players go out there and show some fight and some pride, and we win the FA Cup, and we just look forward to next season. But yeah, anyways, those are my thoughts into Eric Ten Hag potentially getting sacked tomorrow after the FA Cup final. I mean, I know I had been calling for it. I've been saying, let's get to the FA Cup final. Let's see if he can win it. But either way, Ineos should go into the FA Cup final knowing exactly what they want to do. Do you want to keep him or do you want to sack him? It shouldn't be based off how tomorrow's game goes. So I hope tomorrow we sack him. We see him for the last time in the Man United dugout. Well, it's at Wembley, but either way, I hope we see him for the last time as a Man United manager and we get to replace him with someone decent. I'm seeing, like I said, the top 4 candidates that we're being linked with is Kieran McKenna, Thomas Tuchel, what's his name? Excuse me, Mauricio Pochettino and Thomas Frank. So hopefully Ten Hag does get sacked and we get, I don't know, a decent manager. But yeah, like I said, those are my thoughts on Ten Hag potentially being sacked. Let me know what you thought. Are you happy he's going? Or are you sad he's leaving? Are you a Ten Hag in? Are you a Ten Hag out? Let me know in the comments. If you're someone who's happy Ten Hag is leaving, tell me. If you're sad, you can also write why you don't agree with the decision as to why Ten Hag has been sacked. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about Ten Hag potentially leaving tomorrow. So yeah, if you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys soon. It's probably going to be tomorrow after the FA Cup final. I'm probably going to go live after the FA Cup final, so make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Just check after the game, come through, join us live. We're going to be discussing, join us live, we're going to be discussing as to whether it's true, whether we will have either won the FA Cup or we would have lost it, and we'll probably have an update on Ten Hag's future. So join me tomorrow as we go through all of that. But yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Peace.